Hey, hi, hello, what's up? We have a new chapter of Bakemonogatari. This is 65. It looks like we're jumping right into Kizumonogatari, the highly awaited flashback. We learn the origins of Araragi's vampirism. Of course, none of this is really so eagerly anticipated for its story content. For us mega fans that have both read the light novels and watched the anime, in this case the movies, but I'm super excited to see how Oh Great will depict what I think is in many ways the pinnacle of the Monogatari anime in terms of animation. Just Shaft movie quality is so mind-blowingly powerful. They just went all out in every conceivable direction. So it's going to be a lot to live up to. We start off with a awesome shot of Shinobu in her vampiric glory, and then the current Oshino Shinobu, the little kid. It was because of spring break I was attacked by a vampire. I love the way that Monogatari kind of builds up this sort of self-mythology with these constantly repeated iconic type statements. I was attacked by a vampire. It's always put in those exact words, um, kind of to summarize this entire complex incident. First, foreshadowing it, both kind of drawing so much attention to it but leaving it so oblique, and then later as kind of an encapsulation of all of the emotional, physical, supernatural, societal fallout of that incident. They'll refer to the time I was attacked by a vampire. Just this very singular moment. I believe I was just unlucky. But even if someone else, not me, encountered the same misfortune and went through the same experience I did, this probably wouldn't have been the outcome. Yes, so it does start kind of by fate. Well, not fate, sorry, but by chance, by could have been anyone, right? In the end, the whole thing was caused because Araragi Koyomi was Araragi Koyomi. I believe that's how the chain of events went. In the baseball field. This is interesting. So in the movies, there's quite a few like baseball imagery type things. I suppose that's mostly because there's the one fight where he ends up throwing the baseballs at the guy at dramaturgy. Um, so I guess it makes sense that they foreshadow these baseball elements even here. I thought it was more of like an aesthetic decision on Shaft's part, but maybe it's more story based, and thus it makes sense that it's in all mediums. Your personality is slowly turning into a piripa. Piripa means nightclub goer. Okay. It's kind of a weird anachronism. Yeah, I think that was a good way to do it. To try to like find matching slang, like matchingly out of date slang in English, is kind of difficult, and this gets the sense across just as well. The hot word back in 2019. Araragi refers to this as the future. It still sounds like the future to me, 2019. That still sounds like a year in the future. But it's over! It's been over for 3 months! That's crazy! I really know everything. Oh, and she drops her trademark phrase as well. I don't know everything, just what I know. But I don't know where the whole thing started and where it ended. Oh, well, let's take things back. I change the perspective. I would change the central character here. So not me or even Kishot, but maybe let's say it's Hanekawa. Hmm. Oh, so I see. We're not actually going into Kizu. I got a little tricked. I thought this was still part of the flashback because it starts with the two of them meeting up at night. It doesn't look like night because you can see shadows and stuff, but I thought maybe it was night. They meet up at night and they talk about the vampire, and then Araragi actually encounters the vampire. So, in some ways, you could actually say that even for that incident, Hanekawa was kind of the main character. She was the one that was going through stuff with her family such that she set out in the middle of the night wanting to meet a vampire. And it was because of that that she ran into Araragi, and it was because of that that he actually met a vampire, and the entire events of the series really get kicked off. But then again, there was a lot of stuff already happening very closely related to Araragi, like the stuff with his sister, Tsuiki, that had nothing to do with the vampire. So it's like, I don't know, it really is hard to say where it begins and where it ends. This idea of Hanekawa as the true main character. So yeah, this is the forward-most point in time. And now we are going to go into the Hanekawa arc, I believe. Senjokuhara has started acting weirdly after she became friends with Araragi. Araragi Koyomi is a bad influence on Senjokuhara. These are the rumors. I don't know. There's probably some validity to them. I'll never be able to know what it meant for her forever and ever. Can't let them badmouth her just because she's going out with a man. I think talking with a cute middle schooler in school grounds is a bad idea. So this is pretty soon after the whole Sengoku incident and Araragi and Sengoku meeting up so she can return the spats and school swimsuit that what's her face, the monkey Kanbaru lent them. Don't people talk about you? I would never tell them. I never change. There is no truth, only perception. I love this shot of the camera with the eye on the lens. It's pretty cool. Ooh, and this is another amazing shot. Araragi leaning off this makeshift clock tower, looking like something from Getting Over It, kind of, with super traditional numbers. This is like the legal document version of 1 and 2 that you use so that you don't mix them up with katakana ni and with the syllable elongating thing. You can use these fancier versions of 1 and 2. And then beyond that, I'm not really sure what's going on. They look like very old, archaic forms. Like, the one for 5 is pretty close to 5, but it's not quite 5. But yes, it seems like this is a very old-fashioned clock indeed. The meaning it holds for one observer will differ depending on the observer. No two observers will have the same meaning in kind. True. Yeah, I suppose when you reduce it to this extent, it seems almost like a truism, like it's quite obvious and goes without saying, but in that sense, there really is no reality. we do all perceive things differently on the level of meaning, on the level of what the significance that any given thing holds for us. And thus, can we say, can we privilege any one viewpoint over another? I mean, maybe, I don't know, but there's certainly an argument to be had that you couldn't, and thus everything is totally ephemeral. By the way, Araragi-kun, why don't you put those bloomers in swimsuits, the things you're holding like treasures, in your bag? The face! Why is he acting indignant? Why is he acting self-righteous? Speaking of which, I feel like Hanekawa always has a personal view on romance. Does she have a special person in mind? Tries to feel her out here. I mean, their past is very complicated, their relationships have been very complicated, but it's telling that Araragi never once considers that Hanekawa might like him, right? He assumes that it's going to be someone else, if anyone. Like the Doraemon square where they go to the moon. I can understand maybe where the pun is here. That he was trying to say ski, and in Japanese, of course, you've seen this joke a million times, that the moon, ski, T-S-U-I-K, T-S-U-K-I, is pronounced very, very similar to ski, S-U-K-I, meaning like. So he's probably, yeah. The Doraemon story where they go to the moon. So yeah, she's getting these headaches. Go away if I go home and study. Staying behind the prep for the cultural festival. That's like the very, very first scene of the entire series, is that they're trying to figure out what they're going to do for the cultural festival. It's funny that not very much time has passed since then. You know, like it seems like crazy amounts of time. It's so long ago. But really, it was just a few terrible, terrible weeks. More baseball stuff. Spring break, we hurt each other. in this place, on these grounds? I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do Hanekawa arc or Kizumonogatari, but I like that they're kind of setting up both. That they're foreshadowing Hanekawa's significant role in the Kizumonogatari arc, such that no matter what ordering they do it in, they're going to build up the significance of the other arc. I think that's smart. Also, what's with the baseball team giving Araragi such dirty looks? They're giving him the stink eye majorly. What's up with that? What did he do to them? Whoa! Never mind. What? They all apologize en masse. Whoa! Araragi has this reputation now. They don't want to mess with him. What? Wait, I don't remember this. Maybe this is just like a throwaway gag I forgot about, but I don't remember Araragi having this sort of reputation. I made this prologue really long, but I, the observer, was just a nonconformist, and well, as per usual, I was a fool. If I start talking about my weaknesses, I'm not sure I'd be able to finish talking, so I'll preface it this way, since it's the most boring, plausible way to do it. Before I do, I think it's best to say this now. The scarring story which revolves around vampires. It's a bad end. Okay, so we're gonna get to see Kizu. Kizu is definitely first. We leap back in time to March 25th, the spring break, when Araragi encounters a vampire. Because in this ending, everyone becomes unhappy. And here it is, the fateful encounter between Hanekawa and Araragi. We're getting Kizu. So that's pretty exciting. This is the first material we're getting that is like, there's been a couple like foreshadowings of things outside of the original Bakemonogatari books, like when we saw Kaiki, when the sisters kind of had a more expanded role. These were hinting at things in Nisei Monogatari, which again, I'm like very cautiously optimistic will be adapted to, but I haven't seen any proof of yet. And everything else has been within Bakemonogatari, who's still kind of upholding this ability for them to just call it and end it after Bake is finished. So the fact that we're getting stuff from Kizu, that we're actually going to hear the whole story of Kizu is fantastic. That's at least one other novel that we're going to adapt, which gives us a lot of hope that any number of other novels will be adapted as well. It's Kizu time. Excuse me, it's Kizu time. I'm very excited. I love Kizu. Ah, yes. One of the real defining moments, for better or worse, for this entire saga, this franchise, this media giant, this one of the best-selling anime of all time. I know by reputation, a lot of people talk about how there's like multiple pages in the light novel just going on and on about Hanekawa's panties. And when you consider it that way, it kind of feels like the anime is less perverse, is actually more reasonable. But I think just in the way it's depicted, in the way that it's described in the light novel, you can't really just say, oh, it goes on for pages and pages, because it goes on for pages and pages in that very rambly, stream of consciousness, associated thinking style of Niseosian. It's not as focused as you might be anticipating. And here in the manga, it looks like they're living this up to it again. The phantom angel wings behind her, and then the full page panel of the shot. Oh, it goes even further. Wow, good framing. Ah, see, here we go. This is when they bring in the quality of the light novel, spamming the text. Good. I won't read all of this because it would sound really awful if someone cropped it out of context. Oh, and it just keeps going and going and going. This actually might end up being, well, the big confession that I love so well that I went on and on and on about when Senjo Gahara confesses to Araragi. That was 6 pages. It was 3 2-page spreads. So let's see. Will they top that with the Hanekawa panty shot? Oh, this is so great. I love the Araragi silhouette just covered in his thoughts about the sublimity before him. We're up to 4 pages. Jesus. Oh my god. Alright, that's pretty good. Again, it captures it really nicely in every medium. They know how to use the unique qualities of that medium to drive home this one specific point. She looked good. That's really what it all comes down to. The girl, this was my first contact with Hanekawa Tsubasa. And she just laughs. And he makes a creepy face and laughs back. So wait, it was, this moment is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6 pages focused entirely on the panty shot. That's actually equal, exactly, to the Senjugahara confession. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's just great. That's just fantastic. That's phenomenal. All right, a fun chapter. I'm very, very excited that we're getting into Kizu. Lots of excitement ahead. Lots of big fights. Lots of terrifying decisions. Lots of torturous ordeals. I kind of feel like rewatching Bakemonogatari now. At the very least, I'm going to watch the trailer. They did a really fantastic trailer, I think, for the movies. Just, I remember it was so long between the announcement and then just silence, total silence. Every once in a while, I think they'd be like, and Bakemonogatari coming soon. Oh, there was a trailer 8 years ago. Yeah, I remember this trailer. It's just Araragi breathing really hard, I think. Yeah, and then very, 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 very short clips at the end. And his music, yeah. But then, the first big real trailer. I hope I'm probably gonna get strikes for this. Dang. Oh, something about this. I remember when I was watching this. I was getting so hyped. Seeing the version of the Shaft logo with the 40 years or whatever, I don't know, for some reason it just hit me like so hard, just like the legacy of Shaft, the long history they've had of making animation, accumulating, and finally this movie coming out. Oh man, I was pumped. And then the opening shot goes, did something good happen? Something good happen? Oh, it's so good. Okay. Can't wait to see this in yet another medium. I hope you're excited too. Bye bye.